Okay, so please note that in this presentation, I will be using the words clinic and clinician to mean absolutely anyone who provides a service to CI users. I couldn't find a better term to cover everybody. Next slide, please. Okay, back in the 1980s, the design brief for the Ford Sierra dashboard was to make the driver feel important. Notice the word feel. That was about creating an illusion of importance. On the other hand, service providers must leave all CI users in no doubt that they are important. Valued and engaged patients are set to achieve great outcomes. Next slide, please. The concept of person-centered care is great, but it will inevitably come with cost attached. There's no gain without pain. So where are we today? Are we just enthusiastic about person-centered care so long as it doesn't make us uncomfortable? Or are we truly committed to it for the long term? Are we willing to endure pain and sacrifice to achieve change? Next slide, please. So do you think your service is already focused on person-centered care? I'd like to know how you answer these questions. Can bilaterally deaf adults receive bilateral implants? Are old people treated exactly the same as younger people? Are appointments scheduled to serve patient needs or just annually so that the clinic can tick a box? Are relatives and families of CI candidates properly involved in the process? Do patients have support available 24/7? Failure never happens at a good time. If we are committed to person-centered care and prepared for failure situations, then major life events like weddings, funerals, exams, concerts, performances, and job interviews will not be spoiled when a processor fails. Are you in contact with the 90 to 95% of CI candidates in your region who do not have them yet? Is person-centered care more important than revenue? Will clinics be committed to it, even if it reduces profits or impacts workloads? What's good for the person might subtract from the bottom line. If you answer no to any of those questions and many more, in my view, you are not yet providing person-centered care. But how many criteria must be met and at what level before anywhere can say that they offer person-centered care? Person-centered care is a moving target. Next slide, please. The cochlear implant users are tethered to their clinics and health systems, not to mention their CI brands, like dogs on leads. We cannot move to a new town or country without considering the impact on our CI provision. We should be free to roam without fearing for our hearing. While individual clinics and services can set local examples, best practices must be shared and adopted globally. Otherwise, clients of exceptional clinics will be even more tethered than they were before. Next slide, please. Who is the judge of successful person-centered care? Are service providers really going to put the patient at the center, or will they take the easy path and assess this through their own eyes? I believe that only CI users can judge whether they are receiving person-centered care. Clinics must not optimistically self-assess on our behalf. Most clinicians are not CI users and do not see our daily struggles. For example, when users experience problems, we may waste countless hours seeking solutions before contacting the clinic. Clinics see the tip of the iceberg, not the considerable frustration bubbling below the surface. Next slide, please. Now, how will we measure outcome to show that changes are effective? Clinics have never asked me for any kind of feedback. Without satisfaction surveys and other feedback channels, we neither know where we are nor where we are going. So why don't these surveys happen? I suggested in a CI conference that we need a TripAdvisor type application to rate audiologists. That made the audiologist visibly uncomfortable. Nevertheless, we need tools to ensure top-notch service. Poor clinicians just lead to poor outcomes. Clients, of course, are only going to give feedback if they trust that it will be acted upon. Therefore, providers should communicate the changes that they have made based on user feedback. Next slide, please. So, what's the solution? It's complicated, but the main thing is put the client's view front and center, not the clinician's view. When making decisions about person-centered care, consider if you are really putting the CI user first or the clinic. Clinicians and service providers are often in a better position to fix person-centered care challenges than CI users. If you cannot solve a challenge, then think about who can or should. Recognize that every patient has a different hearing history and life experience. One size does not fit all. Flexibility is key so that each person gets the unique services that they require. Next slide, please. Okay, we come back to the start. And although the Sierra dashboard met the design brief, the reality lacked substance. In this case, the substance had an awful habit of disintegrating in sunlight. So this is me and a friend in the 1980s when I had a shocking head of hair changing my Sierra dashboard. Let's learn a lesson from this example and strive to make the reality and substance of person-centered care every bit as good as the concept. Thank you.